I'm so caffeinated right now. I can't even think. Like, I feel like my brain is going blah, 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 and I'm moving in slow motion. So, hello and welcome to another book related video. I haven't done a book related video in a long time, but it doesn't mean that I haven't been reading. I've actually been very successful when reading the past 2 months. So since we're starting the month of May, I want to do a little May TBR, so the books that I want to read in May, and then give you a little reading vlog for the rest of this week on how many pages I read this week, which I'm really excited about. So I'm gonna start off with the May TBR. Some of these books I've already started, but this one I'm almost done with it. I've read 40 pages of this morning already, but my goal is to finish this today. But I'm reading Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed, which is a pretty cool and different book. Like, it's very different compared to the other books that I've read before. It's an advice column, so a lot of real people send out letters to an advice column and they want advice. Wow, there's not much to it, but what's really cool about it is that obviously you get little snippets of people's life struggles, issues, and thoughts, and some of them you may relate to, some of them you may not, but it's still pretty interesting, and every couple of pages it's very different. So it's a very fast-paced read, because let's say if you're not really into one of the letters, it doesn't take too long to read, you know, and then the next time, the next little section is a whole different story, a whole different person. So it's pretty cool. And I'm not one to annotate a lot of books, first because I feel weird writing or like highlighting in books, but I'm trying to annotate because there were so many quotes in this that I really loved, and I started underlining them in this book, which hurt my heart a little bit, but it shouldn't, because this is my book and those are quotes that stuck out to me. So I'm pretty happy that I did that. Anyways, I've read 40 pages so far within this book, and it's a book that I want to finish today. So sort of in my May TBR, but I was reading it in April. But we're gonna get to like the newish books that I haven't really delve into. For my May TBR, I have 6 books in mind, not counting the one that I just talked about. I have 2 Kindle books, 1 audiobook, and 3 physical books in mind. Really excited about this. So I'm gonna start off with the Kindle books. I'm currently reading I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which I'm sure you've heard about this book. I feel like it's a book that's really talked about. I'm buddy reading that with a friend, so I'm really excited about it. I'm 25% done. Again, I started it in April, but it's going to go into my May TBR, and since I'm buddy reading it, I'm not really binge reading this book, so I need another book on my Kindle so I can read at night. And the second book on my Kindle that I have is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I'm not too deep into it. I think I read like the first chapter, so it's truly starting a new book in May. I obviously read the first book, Fourth Wing, and I think I gave it around 3.5 or 4 stars. So those are the 2 Kindle books that I have so far for my May TBR. The audiobook that I'd be listening to within this month is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I'm 25% in it already. I typically listen to my audiobooks when I'm driving, or in the off chance that I want to listen to it just like as I'm cooking or as I go on a walk or maybe at the gym. But it doesn't really happen too often. It's mostly when I'm driving, so that book is reserved when I'm driving. I haven't delved into too much of poetry when I'm reading books or when I'm choosing them, so it's really interesting listening to a poetry book as an audiobook. I feel like there's so much passion within like the person that's reading this book to me, and it's pretty cool. It's a different way of learning someone's life or learning their experiences. Moving on to my 3 physical books. So these are the books that I feel like I'll be binging, because one of the Kindle books I'm buddy reading, the other one I typically reserve to just read at night, so that's like maybe 20-30 minutes. The other one is an audiobook that's reserved for car rides. So these 3 physical books I'm allowed to binge read, and I'm really excited about it. So the first one that I have is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. It is a library book, so because it's a library book, I have a deadline on it, and I do want to get through this one first compared to the other ones that I have. But it's a thriller. I've read Riley Sager before. It's more of a hit than a miss for me with Riley Sager. I feel like a lot of the times when I'm reading his books or listening to his books, it's just so crazy that you're lost within the story, like, pretty quickly. So I want to say that, like, I have high hopes for this one in terms of being able to, like, binge read it and just not being able to put it down. So I'm really excited about that. And I haven't read a thriller in a while, so I'm really excited about that. The other book that I have, which I'm most excited about because I just recently purchased it, is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I've never read a Jessa Hastings books before. Of course, Magnolia Parks, the series, has been very intriguing to me, but because it's a series, I feel a little intimidated by it. And I don't really know if I'm going to like Jessa Hastings' writing or if her kinds of books or writing style or characters are something for me. So knowing that there's a new book out by her that's a standalone is just perfect. And look at this cover. It's so beautiful. So I'm so excited to read this one. And then the final book that I have, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, which is tabbed because Denise lent me this book. Now, you've seen Denise before in some of my reading videos, some of my little vlogs, and want to say that I've gotten her into reading. Not within this book, but now, like, I've been recommending books to her and she's been reading a little bit more often. But this is a book that she bought and she read all by herself. Like, before I even told her, oh, we should be reading, blah, 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 blah. So she finished this book and she recommended it to me. And I've had this in my TBR since January, and it's May. So I feel like it's time to start it. Now, I have a lot of books so far, and I don't typically read 6 books in a month. I have been for the past 2 months, but January and February, I only read 1 book. I'm very optimistic though, in being able to at least start on all of them and finish a couple. So I'm really excited about that, and I think another way to motivate myself to continuing this beautiful reading streak that I have, which I have a reading streak of 34 days on Fable, I believe. So I'm planning on continuing that. What's better than telling you how many pages I read within this week? So again, starting off with this book because I'm almost done with it. I've read 40 pages of it so far in the morning, as I've mentioned, and I'm gonna finish this book. Now, am I gonna read any of the other books? Hopefully, but towards the end of the day, I'll give you a final count on how many pages I've read. Yesterday, I read a total of 177 pages, which is just crazy. It was a Sunday, so I had more time to read, and as I mentioned, I've been on a roll with reading, so I'm really happy about that. I ended up finishing Tiny Beautiful Things, and then I started Survive the Night by Riley Sager, and I read 83 pages of Tiny Beautiful Things and 34 pages of Survive the Night. Today, I haven't read anything, but I am going to have a little reading date with Denise by the beach and planning on reading, obviously. I just had the best matcha. It had cream top, matcha, and ube. I love ube. I've been waiting to go to this coffee shop because every single day they change their flavors, and any time that they have the ube flavor available, I'm not there. Like, I'm unable to get it. But today I made it a mission to go, and it was so good. Now I need to go every single time they have the ube flavor because it was so good. Yesterday I read a total of 32 pages, which is not a lot, but I read, okay? And today I want to read more than 32 pages. My goal for today is 50 pages. But I don't know how capable I am of doing that. I mean, obviously I'm capable of reading 50 pages. I have a lot of things to do, so I want to listen to an audiobook, The Poet X, the one that I've been listening to recently. I think I'm going to count the percentages as pages, even though I know it's not the same, but I don't know how to count that in, and I want to count that in. So I'm gonna listen to The Poet X right now, and I need to read my chapters for this book right here that I'm buddy reading. And then if I'm feeling crazy, I'll continue this book. So far, it's it's not as bingeable as I thought it was going to be. Typically, like, I know by the first like 20 pages if I'm gonna be obsessed with the book, and I don't feel that way within this one. It can change because we haven't gotten into any like plot twists. We're still getting to know the characters and the story, but I'm not that intrigued. This one though, are you kidding me? Like, if I wasn't buddy reading this, I wouldn't be able to put this down. I think about this book every single day, and I just can't believe what she lived through. I can't believe it. I'm also very curious if she's going to write another book and publish another book, because she does mention that she loves writing. Obviously she wrote a book, but since she was younger she really loved writing, and her mom didn't want her to pursue that, or didn't want her to love that or practice that, because her mom wanted her to stick with acting. She goes more in depth about talking about that, but that made me think, like, hopefully she can live out her dreams now and she can publish more books, because she's an amazing writer, and honestly I'd read more of her books.
First time in a long time, I'm praying for a miracle.
It is Thursday, and as you saw yesterday I read 75 pages, which is pretty awesome. I typically don't read that much within a week, but because I've been filming and because I've been in a really good mood to read, I've been doing so great. I've been doing so great. I'm so happy about it. Hopefully continuing this vibe for the rest of May. Anyways, I have an important announcement. I finished The Poet X, and it's a 5-star. It's a 5-star. I was listening to this in the car as I was driving, and I had to put pause at some point because I wanted to cry. My eyes were tearing up. I felt like the knot in my throat, and I couldn't cry because I was going to work and I couldn't look like I was crying, you know what I mean? So I had to pause it, and I just had to be like, wow, I'm so appreciative of this book. Like, truly one of my favorites. I'm typically not the kind of person that purchases the books that they finish, like if it was on Kindle or if it was an audiobook. I just like enjoy the book that I'm reading. When I'm done, great, move on to the next type of thing. But truly, The Poet X, I feel like I need it. I feel like I need to buy it. I feel like I need to personally reread it and highlight some points. I feel like it inspired me to do poetry. I don't do poetry, but it was just so inspirational. It was so cool. I loved it. 5-star. 5-star. So good. So that was my big announcement for Wednesday. And again, for today, finished my 5 chapters, and I'm gonna I think I'm gonna continue to read Survive the Night, because I haven't really done a dent into that book, and I want to finish it. I want to turn it in. I want to take it back home to the library where it belongs. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing today. So far within this video, I finished 2 books. I finished Tiny Beautiful Things, which I gave it 4 stars. I finished The Poet X, which I gave 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. I haven't finished any other book. I do want to tell you where I left off within my other books, so let me open up my Fable. So I'm currently reading 3 books, and I'm 46% done with Survive the Night, which honestly I'm just trying to survive the book now. I've been wanting to DNF it, but I'm almost halfway done. Might as well just finish it. That's my mentality right now. I'm 52% done with I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is still such a great read, but it's just so sad. It's just so sad. I didn't grow up watching iCarly. I did watch more like Sam and Cat, but not too much either. Obviously I know who Jeanette McCurdy was, but I just can't believe it. I mean, and then I can't, because I feel like most of these child stars have had pretty rocky childhoods. And then I am 9% done with Iron Flame, so I didn't really read too much on Iron Flame, but also it's a book that has so many pages, so 9% within that book is pretty good. So I'm obviously going to continue to read these books and read the rest of my May TBR, which I'm really excited for. My main priority is this, so I can just turn it in next week. It was so fun doing this within the whole week, and pretty cool to calculate how many pages I've read and to stay on track with reading. So I'm happy I did this. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you know a little bit more about my kind of book taste, okay? And I'll be doing more book related videos because they're really fun and they motivate me to read, and I like talking about books. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.